Forgiveness. It's one of those things, isn't it? We all know we should do it, but when you're the one who's been deeply hurt, actually letting go can feel, well, almost impossible. So today, let's dive into this. Let's really explore what it means to forgive. And let's just start with the biggest question right out of the gate. Why? Why is it so incredibly hard to let go? When someone really wrongs you, why does our first instinct seem to be to just hold on to that pain? The simple truth is, holding a grudge just feels natural. It's a gut reaction, you know? We get hurt, we get angry, and holding on to that feeling can almost feel like we're protecting ourselves. Like it proves that what happened to us was real and it mattered. But while it might feel natural, it creates this huge spiritual problem for us. So let's start by really unpacking the core problem with grudges. When you boil it all down, what is a grudge? It's really simple. It's an active refusal to forgive. It's a choice we make to keep holding on to that offense instead of just letting it go. And this isn't just about other people, right? Sure, we can hold a grudge against a friend who betrayed us, but sometimes we can even hold a grudge against God because something happened in our life that we think He should have prevented. This whole issue is so critical, in fact, that the Bible addresses it head on. It gives a really specific command that pushes back against that very human desire we have to get even. I mean, look at this verse from Leviticus. It couldn't be more direct. It doesn't just say, hey, don't get revenge. It specifically calls out, bear a grudge. But the real power, the part that changes everything, is in those final 4 words. That little phrase, I am the Lord, why is that tacked on at the end? It's this powerful reminder of our place in the universe. When we hold a grudge, we're basically putting on a robe, sitting in the judge's chair, and deciding who deserves what. And that role belongs to Him, not us. And this idea gets reinforced again over in Romans. Vengeance, justice, that's God's department. It's His responsibility. Our only job is to get out of the way and leave room for Him to do His work. But to really do that, we have to fight through some major misunderstandings about what forgiveness even is. So let's pull back the curtain on the truth of forgiveness, what it is, and maybe even more importantly, what it isn't. Okay, this is so key. Let's break down the myths. Forgiveness is not excusing what they did. It's not pretending it didn't hurt like crazy, and it's definitely not something you do mainly for their benefit. Now, on the other hand, what forgiveness is, it's a gift you give to yourself. It's about taking back the remote control of your emotions. And ultimately, it's about trusting God to handle the justice. So let's try a new definition. Think of forgiveness as God's gift to release you. It's the key that unlocks the emotional chains that tie you to the person who hurt you. It is all about taking your power back. Seriously, think about it this way. When we hold a grudge, just the thought of that person can ruin our day, right? It can make your stomach turn or send a jolt of anger through you. In a very real way, we've turned them into an idol. We've given them power over our emotional and spiritual well-being. And this leads us to another absolutely critical distinction we have to make. Because taking your power back does not mean you have to put yourself back in a dangerous situation. Let's look at the huge difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. These two are not the same thing. Not even close. Forgiveness is internal. It's an act of your heart, a transaction between you and God. It's unconditional. Reconciliation, though, that's external. That's about restoring a relationship. And that is always conditional on whether the other person has truly repented and proven they can be trusted again. And this is a life or death point for some people. For example, a victim of abuse is absolutely called to forgive, but for their own healing, so they can release that person's control over them. But reconciliation, restoring that relationship, that can only happen if the abuser has proven over a very long time that they have truly changed and are now safe. Forgiveness never ever means you have to drop your boundaries. At the end of the day, we just have to remember this. Our anger, our desire to see them pay, it doesn't actually help God's plan for justice. Most of the time, it just gets in the way. He doesn't need our help to be the judge. He just needs our trust and surrender. So, if you're on board and thinking, okay, I get it, but how do I actually do it? What does this look like in real life? Let's walk through the actual path to freedom. It really breaks down into 3 steps. First, you have to acknowledge the hurt. Be honest about it. Don't minimize it. Second, You make a conscious, willful choice to forgive. It's a decision, not a feeling that just washes over you. And third, you consciously release the entire situation and the person to God. You trust Him with the outcome. And when you take these steps, look at what happens. The benefits? They're all for you. This act of letting go brings such profound healing to your soul. It clears out the bitterness so God has room to build His character in you. And it puts your relationship with Him back where it belongs, with Him as the righteous judge and you as free. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Who are you allowing to live rent-free in your head? Who have you allowed to have the remote control to your peace? And aren't you ready to take it back?